Hi gals, I'm here with Phoenix and he's in the sling because we're about to go record a podcast, but I wanted to try and do the vlog first. So I'd already gotten him all suited up for the podcast, and then I remembered, I need to do the vlog too, and I should go ahead and do that while he's happy because I do the podcast on the birth ball and I can bounce while I record the podcast, but y'all might get a little bit annoyed seeing me bounce. So anyways, he's just I'm hoping he'll hang out okay right here for us for a minute. But let's see. So this is his 7-week update, and we actually ended up having, I know we're a little crooked right here, but we ended up having my 6-week appointment, and well, he was already 7 weeks, but it worked out that way because I had a client in the office, a primary client, so I will be the primary midwife under supervision for her birth. And she had an appointment that day, so we just scheduled my appointment right before her, so I wouldn't have to come in twice, but I would be able to come in for her appointment. So anyways, so we had that. That went really well. I was kind of discouraged because I hadn't been on a scale since Phoenix was 2 weeks old, and we went by the WIC office, and my weight was basically the same thing. So that's 5 weeks later. I hadn't lost anything, which, that's a little bit discouraging, but I'm trying not to let it get to me because I also haven't been trying to lose weight or anything. I was just kind of hoping that it would fall off, especially with how much he nurses and pumping, because maybe some of those reserves would get used. But overall, I actually feel like I've lost weight, like I'm seeing curves at places where there haven't been curves for a long time. So I don't know, maybe I'll just disagree with the scale and be happy with what I'm seeing right now. Otherwise, though, I had a good appointment with my midwife, a good talk with her. We, of course, talked all about, do you want another baby or not? And that one is, that's always a big question at the 6 weeks appointment. And I've always kind of felt like, well, I don't know. I'll have to see how I feel, or, I definitely know I want another one. So this was the first appointment that I ever really felt like, maybe I don't want another one. Not because I don't love my kids, obviously having 8 of them, but having 8. And Phoenix was a blessing in so many ways, and he was an answer to prayer in so many ways, some of which I've talked about some on the videos and on the podcast and everything, and some of which are just basically me and my midwife know, and that's about it. But yeah, he was a blessing and an answer to prayer in a lot of ways. And I feel like physically my pregnancy with him was good up until the very end. It was, as you know, if you watched the updates from especially 37 weeks, that was a really hard week. So there was some tough stuff there, but otherwise the pregnancy went really well. But I had a lot of anxiety and stress just about things, and I don't know that I want to do that again. Even though I love pregnancy and I love babies and I love caring for him and taking care of him and just looking at him. I really love seeing my other kids with him, but I just have a feeling that our baby days are done. So anyways, that's a lot of what we talked about at the appointment. No real solid decisions or anything made there because it's just kind of talking about it and talking about options and stuff. But that's what we talked about. We also talked about, of course, because my midwife is also my preceptor, so I'm a student midwife under her, talking about me coming back and getting back into the groove of things. And so we talked about, I decided I'm not going to go back into the office regularly, at least until the turn of the year. So, that's only really a month, but I just don't want to try. Before Phoenix was born, I was in the office every Wednesday doing appointments in the afternoon, and I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, but the appointments are back-to-back, literally, because we do an hour-long appointment for each mom, and they often run over, so even though there's a buffer, it ends up being back-to-back for the midwife and the students, and that's just really intense right now. So I told her that I think I'm going to wait until the start of the year, which she was fine with, because I've done a lot of prenatal appointments at this point, so I have the basic skills down pat. It's harder for me because I feel a little bit out, disconnected from what's going on at the office and also meeting the moms, but I think it's better for Phoenix and I. I still will go to home visits for any mom who I'm assisting at her birth. So Phoenix and I actually did go to a home visit last week, and that was interesting. It was in the evening, so he was a little bit cranky. That's like his cranky period. And I think part of it was my own tension. And so there are 2 midwives in the practice, and this home visit and this birth will be with the younger midwife in the practice. And so I've been to quite a few births with her as well. But anyway, she loves holding Phoenix. So she offered to hold Phoenix while we were palpating the mom. So feeling the way that her belly was and her baby was in her belly and all of that. And I think because she was probably less uptight than me about Phoenix. So she kind of bounced him to sleep while I was doing all of that. And so that was, that was nice. And then he slept the rest of the appointment, but it was difficult. I had forgotten to take his swaddle blanket in. And I think if I had taken that in and swaddled him, he would have settled more easily, like during the talking part of the appointment. And so I'm still kind of feeling my way and figuring out like how am I going to deal with Phoenix and Phoenix's needs, and because you're always a little bit torn, and that's kind of challenging. But I also feel like it's part of midwifery to see babies, and then of course we'll see how he does at births. I worry less about births because he'll be on my back for most of the time at births, and especially for most of the births that I end up assigned to, which tend to be with moms who are they're on their 3rd or 4th baby or more. The births tend to go pretty quickly, so I'm on my feet almost all the time because there's just so much to do at a birth. Like, we give the mom her space, but we have things to set up and do and all that kind of stuff. And it seems like I end up on my feet a lot at births. I've only been to a couple births at this point where there was really a lot of time. A first time mom's birth is definitely, there's more time to sit and do paperwork or do schoolwork, study things. I often do studying for my midwifery school if I'm at a birth. Or you end up like what we call labor sitting, which is you're just kind of there for the mom, but a lot of times you're not really actively doing anything. Labor sitting with a baby who's not sleeping could be difficult, but the more active part of being there for her, with the baby on my back isn't such a big deal. So anyways, we'll see how so this mom whose home visit I went to, she's due mid-December, but technically I'm on call for her now, so it could happen at any time. So one of the things that I did before I went to her appointment was I got everything ready. So I got my bag ready. I've got a bag that's got my midwife's supplies in it, and I also put my baby carrier in there, and I put like a small thing with I was thinking I probably should have brought it over, but just a little one of those, I guess, little diaper totes. It's like a little clutch for diapers. I've got 2 of them. And so I put one of those, it's got a few diapers and wipes in that bag, because I figure if I'm going to a birth and need to get in the door, I'll carry in Phoenix, and then I've got that backpack. It's got diapers, and it's got my midwifery supplies, and it's got the carrier in it, so that that's all ready to go in. And then I've got another bag that has just extra change of clothes for me, extra change of clothes for Phoenix, extra just other stuff that I might need, but isn't necessary to come in right away. So that bag could even stay out in the van unless it's needed. And then also the diaper bag, which has extra diapers in it. So that one has the second clutch with diapers in it too. So those 2 bags could even stay in the van, and I can just go out and get them if they're needed. But I have everything ready. I've got all my clothes ready. So basically, and I filled up my midwife's snack bag, which hasn't been full since I went off call before Phoenix was born. That usually goes in with me too. But so anyways, all of that stuff is ready and can all be grabbed to go if I get called in the middle of the night. So I guess I feel ready. The biggest thing is I have to get up, get myself dressed, which I can do in minutes. then get Phoenix dressed, which takes a little bit longer if it's in the middle of the night, because he sleeps in a swaddle blanket and a diaper and nothing else. So I would just have to get him dressed. And what I should probably do is start setting out my clothes and his clothes every night. And like, especially as we get close to this mom's due date, that's what I'll do, is just on the changing table, I'll probably just have all those set out so that I can get up, dress, put him on the changing table, dress him real quick, give him a diaper change him, and we can go. And what Scott usually pulls out the van and gets that ready for me if I get called in the night. So he'll be able to do that and take the bags out, and then I'll just load Phoenix. And I do have Phoenix's car seat in too. So again, that's kind of what I've been thinking about logistically this week, and I feel like logistically we're ready, but it's like, how will a birth really go with him in tow? That'll be interesting. And now the second appointment that I went to, aside from mine, so my primary client's appointment was so much fun. Their first-time parents had been trying for a while when they got pregnant, and like as soon as they walked in and saw Phoenix, they were so excited, and the dad asked to hold him like right away. And I didn't really have to worry. I was able to do the entire appointment without really worrying about Phoenix, because they just kept passing him back and forth, enjoying him. And eventually the mom, she was kind of bouncing on the edge of the bed with him like this and ended up bouncing him to sleep. So, somebody else had my baby the entire time, which was fun. But so that was cool. But anyways, so the last week has gone well, his 7th week, and I would say pretty much the same as it's been going. I don't feel like there's been any major changes. He is really social. He's really chatty too. Like, he'll just sit and kind of coo and talk, which is a lot of fun when he's doing that. Yeah. Are you going to talk for that? Really? You're going to kind of complain right now. But he also has periods still where he's kind of complaining and where he wants to be held. Oh, we did have Thanksgiving as well. So Thanksgiving was lots of fun. We had friends over for Thanksgiving. They brought the turkey, which was really nice. And then the kids and I just got food together. And then we also when we did the Thanksgiving preparation, we did a lot of vegetable chopping. Actually, my kids did a lot of vegetable chopping and stuff to put together some freezer meals. So I'm hoping to assemble a few freezer meals a day next week and get my freezer full of good food. And so that, and he did really well on Thanksgiving. I think by the time our guests left, I was ready for them to go, so I could just sort of kick back and nurse and relax. And he actually settled as soon as they left. He had been getting a little fussy, and he settled as soon as they left. And I think it's just, it was lots of people here because it was another large family and just so much going on, and he could tell when they were gone, and he could. Then let's see. Oh, I pretty much think that's it. Not a whole lot else has been going on. Not really much will go on next week, so that might be kind of a boring week unless some major breakthrough happens with Phoenix, but basically that's how things have been going. Feeling good, enjoyed having the day off, and kind of anticipating getting back into the groove with things, and at the same time kind of not, maybe, I don't know. I'm excited about going back to births, but at the same time I'm nervous about it with him. I'm kind of just trusting that we'll be okay and that it'll work out, because I can't do a lot of thought or else I'll start to get anxious. But otherwise, just homeschooling and things like that are going well with the kids. I feel like each week we get better and better. Whoops, sorry about that, y'all. Each week we get better and better with schooling, and things are going pretty smoothly with Phoenix in school. He's kind of like my little sidekick as we move through the day. I'm still working on, I do still want to work with him on his naps during the day, but that's still pretty much the same as it was last week, not going quite so well as I want it to, where I can just lay him down for a nap. So still working on that. I'll update if anything changes. Otherwise, I think that we're good. I'm going to go ahead and record the podcast, and I will talk to y'all later.